It is salsa day, so usually we make the same salsa every year. It's one that has apples in it. It's one we really like, but we have a lot of green tomatoes this year, so I thought we'd give this one a try. It's a green tomato salsa. It's from a Bernardin book, which, you know, it's probably in a ball one as well. They tend to share a lot of recipes. I've got I'm just going to turn the heat on now. I've got my 7 cups of chopped green tomatoes here, and I've also got my onion and my mix of peppers diced up. I did this in the food processor. It says to use 5 to 10 jalapenos or scotch bonnets or whatever you want. So I threw in a couple of chilies. What else did I put in there? Sugar Rush Peach, some mystery hot peppers, and I think a black Hungarian. So we'll see how that goes. It calls for cilantro. We don't like cilantro, so we're not going to put that in. But I have some cumin and some oregano. So I'm going to get the lime juice, the onions, and the peppers in with the tomatoes, and we'll get that heated up. And I almost forgot the garlic. One thing I've noticed about this recipe is there's not a lot of liquid. The only liquid you add is half a cup of lime juice, and you're supposed to drain the tomatoes before you add them, so that's what I did, but I'm a little concerned we might not have enough liquid. We'll have to really pack the jars, but we'll see what we get. All right, it turned out to be okay. I did have to make sure that there were no air bubbles to make sure that there was enough liquid to cover everything, and I actually ended up with an extra half pint. So it's supposed to make 6 half pints, so I have 5 half pints here and 1 full pint. These are the wide mouth 250 ml jars, and then that's a 500. So, all right, it is tomato processing day. They are in varying stages of ripeness. So I've got this bowl and this tray with ripe washed tomatoes, letting the other ones ripen. I've been picking them under ripe for several reasons. One, at the community garden, they get eaten if you leave them ripen too long. And with our weather, we have a lot more, we don't usually get many issues with blight, and this year, because it's been so humid and we've had so much rain, we are having an issue. So before it gets to the tomatoes, I'm making sure I get the tomatoes. But anyway, I've already made a batch of green tomato salsa verde. It was our first time making it. It turned out pretty good. I think we like our regular salsa better. So that's what I'm going to start with today, with the ripe tomatoes, and we'll see how far we get. The recipe I have that we make every year, one batch just calls for 8 large ripe tomatoes. So some of these smaller ones, this is my first year growing these. These are Heinz tomatoes, so I'm curious to see, you know, how these cook up and stuff. But I'll use like probably 3 or 4 of these to 1 large, like slicing type tomato for that recipe. And depending on how many of the other ingredients we have, I'll make as many batches of that, and then we'll move on to something else. All right, ran out of steam yesterday after getting everything all chopped up. So we're processing the salsa today, and I also decided to make some bread and butter pickles. So I've got those soaking in some water with some pickling salt now, and this needs to cook for 1 to 2 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat on, and we'll bring this up to a boil and then simmer it for about an hour and a half probably. All right, we're on to the pickles now. We're watching Virgin River in the background. Our salsa came out beautiful. The double batch gave me 8 pints, and then there's maybe a quarter or a third of a pint in the fridge. And our pickles are draining. We've got our jars all ready. They just came out of a hot dishwasher, and we're motoring. All right, just pulled the pickles out. I did the British version of bread and butter pickles. So that used apple cider vinegar instead of white vinegar and brown sugar instead of white sugar. And I also added some ginger as well as the turmeric and stuff to the pickles. I did throw a little bit of pickle crisp in there, and I didn't quite have enough of the apple cider vinegar, so I ended up using, I think I had 2.5 cups of apple cider vinegar. The recipe called for 3 cups, so I did use a half a cup of white vinegar. And the recipe called for 5 pints. I think I was a little light on the cucumbers, and I was definitely light on the onions. I ran out of onions, so I ended up with 3. And I had quite a bit of brine left over, which I didn't do anything with. So we've got our 3 jars of pickles and 8 jars of salsa. Happy with that for today. All right, we've been canning. The kitchen's a disaster. I just unloaded and loaded the dishwasher. Lots going on. Sink is full of tomatoes. That's gonna be for like a pizza sauce slash pasta sauce later, hopefully today. But I just finished making a whole bunch of jalapeno poppers. This is the 3rd tray, and it's going in the freezer now. So the jalapeno popper recipe that I used is from Happy Money Saver. The marinara sauce that we're going to make is, the marinara sauce is from Food in Jars. And I'm making 1.5 batches. So it says 1 batch will make 4 pint jars. So I'm hoping to get 6 pint jars. But before I do all of that, I think I might go have a shower. It's, you know, we canned all day yesterday, and I'm hot and sticky, and I feel like I need a shower. Okay, I decided my shower was going to be my reward. I did clean the kitchen. It's already messy again. I'm in the middle of, I've probably got 2/3 of the tomatoes chopped up and already cooking down. And I did get sidetracked and make some crackers. I ate like half of them. They were amazing. Maybe I'll show you those some other time. But I'm getting on with this sauce. And here are our beautiful jars. We got 6 pints and 9 half pints. Guys, we're almost finished with tomatoes. I'm so excited. This is everything that we have left of the tomatoes. I haven't weighed it, but we started with like 60, 70 pounds of tomatoes. So this is all we have left. There's maybe 10 to 15 pounds there probably. We made our Rotel-like chili salsa. So we have 6 pints of that. I've already given a bottle of the bread and butter pickles to my dad. We've got 16 pints of salsa here. There's already some of that in the fridge as well. Then we have our marinara type sauce that I plan to use as pizza sauce and like spaghetti sauce. So there's 6 pints there, and then I think there's 9 half pints. These will probably be used more like pizza sauce because they're a smaller portion. And then we have our green tomato salsa verde as well. I also, because I threw it in this video, we've got, I think there's like 50 jalapeno poppers here that we'll enjoy some night. And I did make a second batch of crackers because I ate most of the first batch. These are awesome. Loving those. So that's what happened the last few days. Here was processing tomatoes. Lola's stealing the dishcloth because that's what she does. And I'm really glad tomato season is almost over. So I hope you enjoyed seeing, you know, what we got up to preservation wise this week. It's not the mega amounts that, you know, some people do. If we had, you know, the garden space and the time, I'd be all over it. But we do what we can, and this is what we can do, and this is what we can. And so I'm happy with, You know, I had visions for a lot more tomatoes this year than we had last year. This is about what we had last year, but we had twice as many plants this year. So, you know, that's all weather related and there's nothing we can do about that. That was out of our hands. I didn't feel like we needed to buy tomatoes. This will get us, you know, most of the way through the year. If we run out of, probably we're most likely to run out of like the marinara sauce. We'll buy some jars, you know, of spaghetti sauce if we need them, no big deal, or some pizza sauce, whatever we need, we'll get it. But I am pretty happy with the array of things that we have. And I'm looking forward to eating it all winter. So I hadn't really planned on making any more of this style video after the Every Bit Counts challenge. But I kind of missed watching everyone else's and I was like, I miss those videos, I miss watching them, so I better make some more. So it's definitely not gonna be a regular thing, but whenever I am getting up to a lot of things, like if I'm making a lot of freezer meals or if I'm, you know, batch cooking anything, I will probably throw that into a video because I really enjoy watching them. So I hope that's something that you're interested in. You know, we're garden obsessed around here, but you know, cooking and things like that tend to go along with gardening. So I hope your preservation plans are going well this fall and you're getting everything in. We still have, you know, I've been checking the forecast. Really, we could get frost any day now. There was a warning for some areas of the province this morning. We weren't one of those areas. I think our low was 9 degrees Celsius. So really any day it could come, but in the long range forecast, it looks like we're gonna have another few weeks anyway. I'm hoping there's no frost until Thanksgiving so we can have dahlias on the Thanksgiving table. Fingers crossed, everybody. And come back next time. I thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.